A brand ambassador and the brand are like two pieces of the puzzle that go together. What is a brand ambassador? They do multiple things. So first off, they're gonna be going to events, they're gonna be representing the brand. The retail salespeople get the bulk order sold into the store, but it's truly the brand ambassadors that come into the stores and sell that product off the shelf one by one. You're not planning to be a brand ambassador the rest of your life. Just having these store connections, your face being known, and also market yourself. This is your business. You're not necessarily an employee, so you gotta think of it as building your business. If you're in the industry and you're not ready to go all in on your own cannabis brand yet, or if you already have a cannabis brand and you're planning on doing anything serious with it, you need to have at least one brand ambassador, a solid brand ambassador, not just anybody. Otherwise, it's like trying to play baseball without having a pitcher, or painting without a paintbrush. Just not gonna work. A brand ambassador and the brand are like two pieces of the puzzle that go together. It's like burger and fries. You need them both. I've designed a full PDF that goes over exactly how to become an effective brand ambassador in this industry. If you don't know me, I'm Chris. I've been in wholesale cannabis since 2004 and held one of California's earliest state distribution licenses. I built and sold a licensed cultivation facility that scaled to $3 million before I launched Zotix in 2022, which has been in over 100 licensed retail stores. And then I followed that up with my second brand, Lowski, in 2024, where we sell fire indoor for the low. Today, I teach cannabis entrepreneurs how to hit $100,000 months without owning a license. So I'm gonna go through this PDF with you guys. This is where I broke down a lot of just inner knowledge I had on this topic and some creative ways that maybe both brand ambassadors and brands haven't been viewing this position or this role. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna go through it. You should have the downloaded link. Hopefully it's already pulled up on your screen and you can go through it with me. If not, we'll show it on the video here. What is a brand ambassador? They do multiple things. So first off, they're gonna be going to events, they're gonna be representing the brand. It's gonna be the face of the brand, aside from any founder or owners or people from the brand. The brand ambassador is your person that is gonna be going to the retail stores to do your patient appreciation days. They'll do a little pop-up stand, greet all the customers that come into the store. They'll be going to events. They'll be helping to set up the booth, helping making the booth look good, putting all the product out, all the merchandise, all the products, also interacting with everyone at the event or at the store or whatever that situation may be. And some of these events, they're just basic cannabis events we've all been to, whether, you know, could be a trap sesh, but in the licensed market, we try to get into different types of events, not only just the sessions, because what happens when you just go to a trap sesh, there's only certain types of people that come there, and they're just coming to just buy their stuff for a week or two, and it's great to get that demographic, and they're also part of the cannabis community, so we don't want to overlook that. However, there's so many other groups of demographics that smoke weed and that care about your brand. So they just might not know that they're a fan of your brand yet because they just don't know about your brand. And that's what good marketing is. Part of the marketing strategy I teach is what I call quadratic marketing. And that's where you have event marketing, retail marketing, in-store marketing, merchandise marketing, where you have good merchandise that markets your brand, and you can utilize this both in stores and at events, and then obviously social media marketing. So I like to take a combination of all four of these components and utilize them. And a brand ambassador is a great way to leverage that. So your brand ambassador, like I said, will be showing up to the stores for your PADs, for budtender training. Your brand ambassador will be showing up to the events, for events. Unless there's certain exceptions, your brand ambassador should also be good at social media, as well as capturing content and being on camera. And these aren't strict requirements, but the more you can, as a brand ambassador, provide these things, and as a brand owner, the more you can require these things from your brand ambassadors and meet in the middle, the better. Because if the brand ambassadors can actually help curate the content, they know how to get good shots and good angles and do light direction, you know, tell someone, oh, walk in from this way, do this, I'm gonna film over here, I wanna get you saying this, just things like that. Because either at these events or in store, these are great places to capture authentic brand content. And not only does it display what your brand is about, but it's also showing authentic interactions with your customer base. And this is important for a number of reasons, not just what you may think at face value. So capturing this content and having someone that's able to help capture it is very important. And on the flip side, if they can also be a participant in the content, if they can actually be on camera and help make some pieces of content. So again, use one of my same top BAs. She has her own, somewhat of her own social media following on her own, and people know that she works in the industry and works for Zodix, as well as being known to be a good BA, one of the top BAs in the industry. And then outside of that, she also is in touch with trending social media topics and reels. So what she'll do sometimes, if it's slow at an event, she'll go through TikTok or something or find something trending. She'll get one of the other BAs, she'll have someone film, they'll do some kind of little skit or something, post it to the story, whatever, you know, and it's not required, but she's just going that extra time. She's sitting there, if the event's slow, she's like, well, let me make some content for the brand. We got everything set up, might as well just leverage it. So it's thinking on your toes, being adaptable, understanding the brand inside and out. These are very important aspects. If you're a brand ambassador, you're basically sales support, marketing support. And a good sales position, anyone in any kind of sales position, if you want to get better at your job, the best way to do that is to learn as much as possible about what it is you're selling. And not just about that specific product. I'm not talking about just learn as much as you can about this one. You know, if we're talking about blue guava, I'm not talking about just learning about everything you know about blue guava. I'm talking about learning everything you know about the facility it's grown in, knowing everything there is to know about the industry itself, the testing protocol, the product market category. Being high-end indoor, they should know everything about that category if you're selling it. They should know what other brands are, I try not to use the word competitors, but what other brands are aligned with your brand in that market, in that space. So what are they doing? What is the industry standard? The more you can know about anything it is that you're selling, the better you're gonna be at selling it. And I'm talking details like the processes of it. How do they feed the weed? What type of nutrients do they use? Is it automated? Is it hand watered? Is it grown in rock wool? Is it grown in soil? Like all these little details that you might just think like, oh, no one cares about that. It's about that one person that does care about it, and you just knowing it, and they can tell that you know it, and you're not just making it up or saying, I don't really know. That's a good question. That doesn't help. So the more you can know about anything, the more you can really dial in on what it is you're selling, the better. And as a brand ambassador, this is more on the marketing side, but marketing and sales should always go hand in hand. They shouldn't be separated. So as a brand ambassador, as a field marketing representative, that's truly what you are. It's a higher position than a brand ambassador. As a field marketing rep, you're on the sales team. You're helping with sales, you're on the front lines, you're selling it off the retail shelves. And that's what I look at a brand ambassador as. The retail salespeople get the bulk order sold into the store, but it's truly the brand ambassadors that come into the stores and sell that product off the shelf one by one. Ideally, if we can hit every store we're in once a month, that's ideal. Sometimes it doesn't always work out like that, or sometimes the stores can't schedule us in for the PADs, or sometimes it's hard getting in touch with certain stores. So it's not clockwork, but that's the target, is hitting every store, do a PAD once a month. And so what that's gonna do is it gives face time for that BA to be in the store and actually greet everybody that comes through that door. And even if they don't buy our product that day, at least they're getting introduced to the brand. And when you walk into the store and there's hundreds of brands all over the place, and there's this one brand set up with a banner and a podium and stickers and keychains and free stuff for them, whether they buy our stuff or not, they're gonna remember that brand and they're gonna recognize it in the future. So even if you don't make a sale that day, you're still marketing, and your brand ambassador is the one doing that. So this is why you want them to also be friendly, be willing to be out of their comfort zone, not scared to speak up, not scared to pull someone in and say, hey, how's it going? You want to check out our flower? You want to check out what we got? Have you heard of our brand Exotics? Saying it in a natural, welcoming way that's inviting, that people want to come find out more. And that's the same at events too. You don't want to just be sitting there. You don't ever want to be on your phone. If you're a brand ambassador, your phone, might as well just keep it in your car. And I know it's hard to do these days, or you have family or other obligations. You got to keep it maybe for an emergency purpose, but do not be on your phone scrolling through Instagram, killing time if it's slow. And this goes for whether you're at an event or in store, at a store, doing a PAD. And what'll happen, you're doing the PAD usually solo by yourself, and you don't work for the store, but you're inside the store. So the manager of the store is paying attention to you as a BA, and they're gonna report back to the brand owner or the salesperson if you're doing a good job as a BA. If you're staying off your phone, if you're paying attention, even if it's slow. If it's slow, you should be using that time to become better at your job. If it were me as a BA in a retail store that's slow and you're just standing there, instead of being on your phone, go walk around the store, go talk to the bud tenders, talk to the manager if you can, talk to the buyer that's there. Build those connections first and foremost. You're not planning to be a brand ambassador the rest of your life, right? So just having these store connections, your face being known, you can leverage this and step your game up and become a salesperson if you really wanted to, and graduate from being a brand ambassador or field marketing rep into doing actual commission-based sales, whether it's for that brand that you've been BAing for or for another brand. These connections at the retail stores are yours. It's like trying to say, like, a friend of yours that you grew up with, whether you see them ever again or not, you still had those interactions. You still cross paths in that lifetime. No one can take that away from you. Same with these retail store connections. The only way they could get taken away from you is if they stop working at that store. But that's why if you get to know everyone there at that store real well, you get on their good side, the manager, the buyer, the bud tenders, anyone else who works there, the security, they might get transferred to another store or move or quit that store and work for another dispensary company later down the road. But you had built this relationship with them a year ago, and now you might be doing sales for another brand, and just so happens this girl works at this place that you were friends with when you were a BA, and now she's a buyer at this other dispensary. Now you're doing sales, and now you're in there. It's a new account for you. You know, so you never know how it's going to play out. Build these relationships and build your reputation store by store, PAD by PAD, event by event, and people will start noticing the consistency. They're going to see your ability to perform, how you represent the brands, how you understand it, how you internalize it. Okay, so that's some of the points on why cannabis brands need brand ambassadors, as well as the importance of a good brand ambassador. Let's touch on some quick ways that you as a brand ambassador can enhance yourself and get noticed to get better positions as a BA, or improve your situation already, improve your current business. Like I mentioned already, building a personal brand, having the ability to be on social media, and also market yourself. This is your business. You're not necessarily an employee, so you got to think of it as building your business. Next is, if you don't have brands you're already working with, reach out to other brands. That's why building a track record, keeping your reputation solid, documenting yourself at these events, doing content for other brands. This is all great ways to build a portfolio, build a track record. So reach out to other brands, and ideally your page that you're reaching out from already shows all your posts. It shows your ongoing involvement in this industry. So it's not like you have to send them a resume, they just look at your IG page. So embody that and really build it like a business and show your value. Even if it's before you're getting paid, I've had other BAs reach out online, mention like, hey, I really like the brand, do you have any openings? And I say, hey, we're not hiring right now, but they still are making content. They might have seen us at an event, had some of our keychains, had some packaging, whatever. They're still filming stuff and posting it, you know, and they're not getting paid for it, they're not working for us, but they still are supporting the brand. So if there's a brand that you like to work for, maybe they don't have a position open at that time, but at least stay on their radar by helping to support them from the sidelines. So some of the key things to watch out for as a brand when you're looking for a BA is you ideally need someone that's not afraid to talk to people. They need to be at events. They also need to be friendly and welcoming. Have a good smile. What happens, people are at events, they're walking by, they're waiting for someone at the table to wave them in, to bring them over, or to tell them, have you tried this? Have you seen this? You want to check this out? Have you heard of our brand? Just an opener, an icebreaker. Because what happens, and I've seen it over years of doing these events, some people will come up and they'll just stop and talk to the table. But there's people that they're walking by, they're looking, and they keep looking back, and they're waiting for you to say, hey, come over here. Have you checked us out? Have you seen us? So you need a BA that's willing to do that, that's not scared, that is a little bit extroverted. They don't have to be like a smooth talker or nothing. They just have to be welcoming and inviting. Also, the brand image. You want to get some BAs that match or complement your brand image. And it's not like you need to go make them into a character or something. You want them to naturally fit that part. Basically, the only thing they're gonna have to change is just wear your branded t-shirt, and the rest just already fits. And that's an ideal brand ambassador. And you also wanna have some balance too. Like say if there's a bunch of guys on the team, it's a street type of brand and it's kind of edgy, you might wanna have some good looking girls in there, at least 2 or 3 to balance it out. So there's not just a bunch of like intimidating looking guys where people are walking by like, oh, maybe we'll just go to this next booth. Instead, at least have a girl there, wave some people in. And also, it's good to have a balance of male and female energy there too, because there's certain types of, especially if it's other females and they don't have guys with them, they might be intimidated to some degree. So having another girl there to kind of make them feel comfortable, I've seen that also play into our favor as well. So also you wanna make sure your brand ambassadors are consistent. Not only consistent in the way that they show up and the way that they present themselves, but consistent in how they represent your brand, how they interact with the consumers, and truly how they are with the team as well. It all makes a difference. So you wanna have that dynamic dialed in. So as a business, you have to set up your structure properly if you want it to run smoothly. And so what I've done at Zotix is we've built an internal breakdown. We have BA training program. We have how the BA works. If they're doing PADs or at events, we have all that mapped out. We have very extensive SOPs in detail, standard operating procedures, step-by-step how to do it. It's basically our instruction manual for the position. And I highly recommend any brand, you need to do this for consistency on your BAs because you're gonna have more than one BA, especially if you're a growing brand. You want to have that consistency between your BAs so that they're all speaking the same language, they're all speaking the same visually, appearance-wise, understanding the brand-wise, like all these components need to be consistent with your BAs across the board, whether they're working the same event or you have them in different locations, that messaging needs to be consistent. So this is done by having your systems in place, having your training program set up, having your resources, SOPs, brand education, as well as budtender education. Because these BAs, if they're doing in-store demos, in-store PADs, they need to go in and also train the budtenders on the brand and on the product so that way the budtenders know what to sell and know how to sell that brand properly. So your BA is a very critical aspect to the team, especially if they're doing in-store stuff too. So let's just jump through this real quick. First step on recruiting your brand ambassadors, you're gonna be defining your ambassador program. How are you paying it? What do they get from that? Are they getting free product as well? Are they just doing events? Is it just for stores? Or maybe it's just for online too, UGC content. Set clear goals and expectations. Next step is to build a scouting system. This is how you're recruiting them. This is how you're sourcing them. So this can be a combination of hashtags, location tags, finding them on Twitter. Word of mouth is really good. That's something you can never overlook, both in sales and recruiting. Word of mouth is great. Also, content creators that are making similar content to this. Some of those content creators might be full-time content creators, but they also might need to have some stability to their income. So content creators, if they're in your vicinity in the right area, they can be a great brand ambassador because that's already what they're doing online. Plus, you need them to be good on camera, participate with social media production, also brand awareness. So some of these content creators are perfect fit. Then having the right structure, as I mentioned, you want to have this all mapped out from onboarding to training to operations to even after each PAD, we have a form that the BA needs to fill out. Breaks down exactly how many people were in the store, how many products got sold, what the price of our product is on the shelf, what the testing date is on the product, any feedback from the budtenders, any feedback from the manager. So we have an extensive post-PAD form that we have every BA fill out. And this is super important because you You need this data as a brand owner, as well as a good BA. You want to be able to see what's been happening. You want to be able to pull that data up next time you're at that store. Maybe try to increase sales. Remember what some of the sticking points were and try to overcome those the next time. Next thing is you want to provide loyalty for your brand ambassadors. You want to make it a great place to work. You want them to be part of the team. You want them to see the brand grow. You want them to share in that success of the growth. And this is important. And also acknowledging when they do good work is very important. This goes for any position, anyone that's doing work for you or with you. You want to always let them know that they're doing a good job. Only if they're doing a good job, obviously. But a lot of people just let that go in the wind, or they don't acknowledge, like, just getting the job done right, like they said they were gonna do, is doing a good job. And there's so many people that fall short of that, or they don't do what they promise, or they don't show up on time, or they don't do it at all. So that just automatically makes, if someone just does the job correctly and in a timely manner, they're doing a good job. So let them know. And that goes a long way. It's more than getting a paycheck. Just that acknowledgement and appreciation goes a real long way. So that is part of a loyal BA team. You want to make sure that they know that they're doing a good job. And if not, help them become better, help them fix whatever it is they're not doing right. And another great way to keep a loyal BA team is offer room for growth. Like I mentioned, these BA positions, you're building a very valuable network through these retail stores. So if it's something that you are inclined to do, sales is a great way to have a BA role and position as a launch pad to becoming a salesperson. And the salesperson, I've done other videos about this, but the commission is most of the time uncapped, and there's guys out there walking home with 5 figures in monthly commission, literally $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. These sales positions are no joke, and if you do it the right way, being a BA for a year or two before getting into sales could really set you up for a nice 6-figure career. So if you made it this far in the video, it means this content is specifically aligned with your vision. To get the most value, join my free community. The link is below, and it's a bunch of like-minded individuals, cannabis entrepreneurs, and we're all in this group looking to grow our brands, either to hit $100,000 months or more in monthly revenue. And that's $1 million a year brand. That's the objective here. So if that resonates with you, join the free community, and I'm gonna show you the inside step-by-step. If you like these PDFs, I'm gonna keep putting out this content so you basically learn how to start and scale a licensed brand without owning a license, and how to grow it into a 7-figure a year brand. So if you want more content about being a better BA or as a brand owner and better marketing strategies, be sure to join the free community, the link's below. But even more so, if you're a brand owner looking to get your brand from the unlicensed market onto licensed shelves, there's another link below. I made a free step-by-step brand building class. Check that out. And if you still want more information after that, you can book a call with me and we'll figure out a strategy that works for your situation. So I look forward to talking to you. Thanks for supporting the content, and I wish you the best on getting your $1 million brand started.